What's up guys, my name is Benjamin Abbott, I am a Metro blogger and freelance writer, and it would appear the internet is upset again over Ben Affleck's casting as Batman in the Batman vs Superman movie that will be coming out in 2015. So to all the complainers I say this: shut up. Just stop talking now, okay? Because by the time the film comes out, you're going to be shown up and you're going to have to eat your words. I would probably actually put money on that. Okay, so here's the bet between us. I think Ben Affleck will be great. I think everyone who's complaining will look very silly when this film hits the box office. Okay? Hold me to it. Anyway, so let's take a step back for a second. My main problem with people hating on this casting is that, to me, it just seems incredibly arrogant. Casting crews in Hollywood, they've probably got so many of your favourite films under their belt. They know what they're doing, and what you're saying is actually you know better than them and that they're doing their job wrong, which is clearly rubbish. And obviously when we haven't seen his would it be interview? I suppose his casting reel for the role. We don't know what he's bringing to it. Obviously they saw something in him which is pretty special, hence why they cast him. And it just seems really premature to be moaning when we haven't seen any footage, literally zero footage, and we're probably not going to for a while. So let's just cool it down for a second, okay? And see how it pans out first before we start moaning. A lot of people have brought up, obviously, Heath Ledger's casting as the Joker in The Dark Knight a few years ago, and saying how how much hate there was against that casting, and then look how that turned out. He was pretty awesome.
So what are you proposing?
It's simple. Kill the Batman. Here's my card.
And the thing is, it's not like Ben Affleck is a bad actor. I know everyone points to Daredevil, but I think we're kind of forgetting that he's done Argo, The Town, Hollywoodland, so many good films, and it just seems a little bit daft to say that actually no, he's going to completely forget everything he's clearly learned over the 10 years since Daredevil and make a complete mess of this film. It's just ridiculous. I think everyone's panicking, and I was surprised. I was surprised by the casting. Not in a bad way, just I did not expect him to actually take the role, because he's been so vocal about how burnt he felt by Daredevil, and so I wasn't really expecting him to kind of put on a cape and cowl. And the thing is, you've kind of got to look at the big picture as well. Ben Affleck, as many people have said, I mean, I know IGN's kind of been beating this drum for a while, he will bring in so many viewers who would not have watched that film otherwise. They literally wouldn't have been interested. But now, oh, Ben Affleck, so he's in the new Superman film, let's go watch it. And to be fair, he's a damn good director as well, so if he's actually signed for multiple films, which, for God's sake, why wouldn't he? You're not just going to sign him for one film and then cast someone else as Batman, and because they're doing a connected universe now for DC, we're going to be seeing lots more Batman in the future, so he's going to be around for a while. I mean, you can... it's only rumour at the moment, but that's pretty much just common sense. Him directing any potential future Batman films would be awesome. I mean, again, just look how The Town and Argo turned out. I believe he directed both of those, and they got so... they're the critics' darlings. And so to see him directing his own Batman movie, or perhaps even a Justice League, that would be incredible. I think actually that would bring so much talent to the franchise. And after sort of Nolan's amazing Dark Knight trilogy, I think you kind of need that, really. In terms of tone, I think this is something that's been worrying everyone. It's not going to go back to the kind of the Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher films where it's very silly and goofy and comic booky. Because the tone set up in Man of Steel is very grounded, even if it's a little bit fantastical, and there's absolutely no reason why they won't keep going with that. I mean, it's done them fairly well so far. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last time I checked, Man of Steel earned 600 million at the box office. Again, I might just be talking out my ass there, but it's done fairly well, so they're not going to change the formula now. And to be perfectly honest, it's working. Why change it if it's not broken? In terms of certainly how I took it, is I was a little bit disappointed because I wanted, personally, Josh Brolin to be Batman. I felt that he could, he kind of has that, just by looking at him, he has this kind of slightly grizzled veteran look to him already, and so I think he looks very suave as well, so he would fit both as Batman and Bruce Wayne, which is obviously, really important. And that's something I think Ben Affleck will do incredibly well, is the Bruce Wayne aspect. And so again, I was a little bit disappointed by that, but also because I kind of wanted a bit of an older Batman. I know that he's 41, and it sounds a bit silly to say that, but I wanted someone who was older again. I wanted kind of a 50-year-old Batman who really, really has been around the block a few times. He's already established as sort of a superhero. He's already got his full rogues gallery. He's pretty much the kind of that's a message. He's pretty much the iconic Batman that we associate in the comics, say, who's got that really good rapport with Commissioner Gordon, and is he's very, very experienced. So that's kind of what I was more looking for, and that's kind of what I was hoping for. But I suppose, actually Ben Affleck is still old enough to be a veteran superhero. So yeah, kind of weighing up, it's not too bad. What I want from the future Batman films, it's really disappointing that Scarecrow has been done to death in the Dark Knight trilogy, because he's one of the kind of villains I would love them to focus on more. Because with the Dark Knight trilogy, because it was so realistic and so gritty, you couldn't really explore some of the crazier characters like Mad Hatter, who is one of Batman's I suppose B-list villains, but he's just fascinating. And obviously Scarecrow is another one who I think they could, if you allowed yourself to be a little bit more fantastical in your portrayal of the character, you could go to some really great places. And obviously then there's other characters like Clayface, Killer Croc, who you just could not do in The Dark Knight, whereas now it's kind of possible to approach those. So I kind of, personally, I'd like to see a slightly more fantastical tone to the new Batman than we had with Dark Knight. I want it to be still grounded, I still want it to be believable, but I want it to be kind of a bit like Marvel's doing. They're still allowing themselves to be fantastical, they're still allowing themselves to just have fun with their franchises, and I think that's what Batman needs. Shut up, I'll get to you later. So, in terms of the villain who's going to be going up against them in Batman vs Superman, whatever it ends up being called, I think it's almost certainly going to be Lex Luthor. That's what the rumours are, and as far as I can tell, they've been talking to actors. I mean, Mark Strong, as far as I'm aware, I think I read this on IGN, where he'd said, watch this space. So clearly something is happening, and I think that would make sense as a villain, simply because Lex is capable of fighting Bruce Wayne sort of from a business standpoint, from an intellectual standpoint, because they're both entrepreneurs, but he also has kind of the skills to be able to fight Batman and Superman on a physical level as well, because often in the comics he has mechanized suits and vast stores of kryptonite, so he's more than capable of kicking both their asses and presenting a real problem, so that's going to be fine. What's more interesting is who's going to be the villain in the new Batman solo movie, which there's going to be one eventually. It's just stupid to say there isn't. My bet would be on Riddler, simply because, again, if rumours to be believed, Warner Brothers has been pushing for the Riddler for some time. As far as I'm aware, I think they wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to be the villain of The Dark Knight Rises as the Riddler, and I can't see them sort of giving up on that. So clearly they're keen on the Riddler. He's a big bankable name. In fact, he's probably one of the few big bankable names, I suppose, available to them that hasn't already been done in the Dark Knight trilogy to start them off with. Because we're going to be seeing Joker again. We're going to be seeing Two-Face again, I'm sure. But because they've been done before so recently, we're probably going to see someone else first, and then we'll kind of seg into them. Kind of like the Amazing Spider-Man series is doing, where it's had, you know, the Lizard and Electro instead of, say, the Green Goblin. He's going to turn up eventually, but they're kind of dragging it out a little bit until we arrive to him. So generally, I think it's going to be awesome. I think Affleck as Batman is a great choice. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. And I think the wiser I think the decision was. So, however, to end, I'm gonna have another kind of bit of a casting input, I suppose, on who I'd like to be the Joker. So personally, I'm going to go for a bit of a left field choice here. Benedict Cumberbatch. Obviously, he's Sherlock in the BBC programme, and he is also John Harrison in Star Trek Into Darkness, the villain of that film. And he's excellent in both of those. To be honest, he's excellent in everything he appears in. And the reason I'd want him to be the Joker is because I think he's so unexpected as someone for the role. You would not expect him to take that kind of role, but he's kind of got the sort of inherent ability to portray madness like he does in Sherlock. Sherlock is slightly off the rails, so I think he could really bring that kind of slightly twisted but believable aspect to the Joker, like Heath Ledger did. The reason why I loved Heath Ledger so much is because he was believable. He was terrifying, but it was because he was so, again, believable. I could believe he was a real person, and I think we need to have that again with the Joker. I'm really hoping they don't give us his origin, because I think the Joker just does not work if he has if his origin is expanded upon and explained, because part of the appeal is his mystique. You don't know why he's doing what he's doing, don't know who he is, don't know where he's come from. He just kind of, I think the description used in The Dark Knight is he is a force of nature, and that really is, I think, how the Joker should stay. I don't want to go back to Tim Burton's Batman, where Jack Nicholson, you saw his sort of rise and fall as the Joker, and how he sort of became that character. Don't want to see that. Let's not have that again. Let's just hit the ground running. We don't want another Batman origin, so it makes sense that they've got an older Batman. So again, it makes sense that the Joker's already established. Don't want to see his origin again. So that's my thoughts on the casting of Ben Affleck as Batman in Batman vs Superman movie. I suppose we'll talk about other bits and bobs as they come up. I'm sure we'll get the casting news for Lex or the villain of the piece soon, and there probably will be a trailer sort of mid-2014, because I think they're filming early 2014. So yeah, until then, catch you later. One last thing. Thanks for watching, and if you want more, then make sure you like, comment, subscribe, whatever. More importantly, check out my Metro blog. I usually post every week, and that can be found at www.metro.co.uk/author/Benjamin-Abbott/ I don't know why there's so many /slashes anyway. Go check it out, let me know what you think, and hopefully I shall hear from you soon. Take care!